Yeah. So, hi everyone. My name is Rohit, and I have 3 years of industry experience in Tosca. In my experience, I have been worked with different technologies like SAP, Web UI, API testing also. So, mostly my roles and responsibilities while handling with Tosca are like automating the test cases by understanding the scope of requirements, and while automating it based on the weightage of the requirements, creating the scenarios, and implementing different approaches and testing strategies. I have done the testing of several web applications like UI applications mostly, which are based on APM or AngularJS or Java or HTML engines. And then I have done API testing through Tosca only, and I have done few projects here and there where I have automated few SAP applications too. So that's a brief about my experience in Tosca. And today, when we are discussing about the demo, so let's jump into the demo. What is Tosca actually, and what is its current growth in the market and all those things? Yeah. So when we talk about Tosca, we have several other tools in the market like RPA, UiPath, UFT, Selenium, which is a very hot favorite tool for most of the organizations. So when we talk about the all the other remaining tools in the market or the automation frameworks that are available in the market, they are all script based. Most of them are script based. Like we need to write the command statements and we need to build up a program block of code in order to automate something. And mostly, if we talk about Selenium, Selenium works only on web applications. So we will be able to automate only web applications using Selenium. So that is one restriction or one limitation that we have with Selenium. But when we talk about Tosca exclusively, Tosca is a scriptless automation tool. Only 2 to 3% of scripting is required here and there. That too in worst case scenarios only. Apart from that, Tosca is completely a scriptless automation tool where we do our automation using module based approach. That means we scan a module. Module is nothing but the controls that we have in our web application or any in any our system under test application. So once we have scanned that particular controls, whichever are required for our test flow or for our scenarios, then we will reuse them again and again. We will not rescan them. We will not writing the code, or we will not be scanning again and again for the same controls. But for one page, let's say if we are working on a home page, then we will have a module dedicated for home page, and everyone whoever wants to use something from the home page or uh, steer any controls in the homepage, we will be using that particular module. So that's how Tosca works. Like we generally call Tosca as a module based approach. And after few slides, after 2 3 slides, we will see what is this module approach really means. Okay, how will this work? And I will just automate a sample scenario so that we can have a better picture here. Yeah. And talking about cross technology testing, this is the most beneficial way of selecting Tosca as an automation tool for any project, because in real time projects or in projects where we involve multiple technologies in a single test scenario, in a single user story, there usually most of the automation tools can't automate the end-to-end scenario, because there will be some dependency on the servers, databases, and different things come into the picture when we want to test the end-to-end scenario. But in end-to-end scenario, if we want to do the automation for end-to-end scenario with Tosca, it is very pretty easy possible. Like we don't face any issues while automating the end-to-end scenarios. Let's say I can just give you an example here. For example, we need to fetch some data from the Linux server in an end-to-end scenario, and after fetching that data, just a second. Yeah, sorry again. So yeah. Let's say we have an end-to-end scenario where we need to connect to a Linux server, and from the Linux server, we need to fetch some data from there. And after fetching the data, we will have to use that data in an application, in a web application where we input our data. And then after inputting the data, at the end of the final steps in that application, we will be getting some IDs or some output that we will be again verifying with the database whether this data which has been submitted successfully has been migrated to database or not. And that database verification will be another technology. And after that, we will just see whether the entire flow has been in sync or not. So here we are almost involving two, three technologies. Like Linux server is a different technology, web application is a UI technology, and then we are verifying the data in database. So database verification or database validation is one more technology involved. So these three technologies, we can have it set up in an end-to-end scenario when we use Tosca. Like all these things, even though there are different technologies, we can just merge them and collaborate them into a single test case. That is the main advantage of Tosca. We can do cross-technology testing very easily and very smoothly. Okay. So again, when I say cross-technology testing, it's not just about servers or web application or not just confined to database validation. It's beyond that. Uh, Tosca can automate 150 plus technologies currently, including SAP, Salesforce, and mobile automation can also be done by Tosca. And then we can automate desktop applications also, and we can automate putty engine also, database engines. We can have multiple technologies that can be automated easily with Tosca. Okay, that is these are the main advantages, or these are the things which differentiate Tosca from the existing tools which are in the market. Okay, so coming to the next slide. So why Tosca? Why do we prefer Tosca when we already have so many emerging tools or so many standard automation frameworks available with us? The only simple reason, or the most human tendency reason, is we doesn't need much programming knowledge required to use Tosca, because any manual tester, after having a particular set of trainings and after having 2 to 3 months of trainings, he can easily start using Tosca as an expert. That is one advantage which we have here. And the second advantage, if I talk about the technicalities, Tosca is a closed license tool, or we can say it is not an open source automation tool like Selenium. Here we can have some uh, data privacy and data security much more than compared to other automation tools that are available. Even though we do have some data privacy in Selenium also, but ultimately it's an open source tool. And usually when we involve something, like if we involve Selenium with Java, very recently there was one log4j error which was used for data theft. Okay, that might happen in some cases, so we never know. But Tosca is like an closed license tool. It is like a repository where we can store our data, and we can limit the access whoever is going to use that particular workspace. So that's one advantage when we are talking about the technicalities. And then manual testers can also do the automation with formal training. That's I have already covered. So when we go for Tosca, or when we deal with Selenium, it takes if it takes 6 months or 7 months to get a grip on that tool. And comparing to Tosca, it doesn't take that much time. We can just get the grip, or we can just get a good hands-on experience with Tosca by working on it for 2 to 3 months. So that is the advantage with what we have with Tosca. And coming to the sections in Tosca, I will explain what sections are available in Tosca. And just let me open one workspace. Let's open this one. So as I told, we have multiple sections here. As you can see, we have test cases section, modules, test case design, execution section, requirement section. All these five sections are the uh, core elements, or we can say that these are the most used sections of Tosca. There are other more sections also, which we might cover in a detailed curriculum. But for now, just to have a brief idea, test case section is something where we store our test cases and where we create our test cases according to our user story. And modules are nothing but the modules that we create, the modules that we create for our pages or for our controls that we will be placing here. And test case design is something related to data. If we need, or if we want to store the data that is given by the stakeholder or that is given by from the business side, we can have it stored in test case design section in an Excel format. Okay, and then we have executions where we just execute the automated test cases and extract the reports. Then we have the requirement section where we will be creating our requirements, analyzing those requirements, and assigning those requirements to test cases. Just like drag and drop, it's just a drag and drop. We can link our requirements to our test cases, execution list, and then we can have a better picture like how much testing has been covered and what is the coverage and what is the pass percentage. All those things can be easily understood from this area. Okay, so let's see a small sample scenario where we can where we will be covering scan how to scan a module, basic way of scanning a module, developing a simple test case, executing it, and generating the report at the end of the final execution. Okay, for that I'll just show you a small scenario, which is a demo web shop. So I'm taking the this sample website, which is provided by the Tricentis. So Tricentis is the founder or is the creator of Tosca tool. So this sample website is provided by them itself. So now I'll just automate a simple flow, like I will just click on login and entering the credentials, and then I will click on login. So to do this action, I'll just have to scan. I will have to work on this links that are on the top menu links, and then I will have to make use of these two text boxes and this login button. So let me just scan this, 1 second. Yeah, so let me go to the home page again, and then if you see the register login page, this is our home page. So let me start scanning the page from here, from the home page, and then we will get into the text boxes and all those things which are needed in the next step. Okay, I'm creating a module. Let's say today's date is 29th December, and then I'll scan a module. So we can select this window tab, and then if I say click on select on screen, and then you can see I need, as I know that I need this login link for my test step or for my flow. I am just scanning it, and the remaining elements I'm just scanning for future reference. They might not be useful now, but anytime in the future they might be useful. So I'm just scanning them, and then I will be just renaming the module as demo web shop home. And as you can see, in any automation tool or in any automation framework, whatever we are working on, our controls need to be unique. Then only the engine or then only the tool can help in steering that particular control. If it is not unique, then it might get confused on which control it should operate, and it will just fail simply. So for that reason, in any automation tool, we follow one simple agenda: whatever controls we are using, they should be unique. So in the same way, whatever four controls we have scanned, those items should be unique. And I'm more focused on login, so I'm just clicking on login and seeing, sorry, clicking on the login link and just seeing whether the item is unique or not. So it is saying that it is unique. So I'll just save it, and I will just say finish screen, because I am done with that particular home screen. And then I will just click on login button, and then again coming to it, I'll just scan the screen again, and then I'll just click on select on screen again to scan these three elements which are necessary for me for my test flow. email text box, password text box, and login button. Okay, now I will just see whether these objects are unique or not. So email, password, login, all these things are unique. Yes, I'm sure about this. So I'll just rename this particular demo webshop login page, and then I'll save it. I will be closing this scanner. And as you can see here, when we have created these models, we had two models. One model containing the menu links, top menu links, and the second, we are having the text boxes or the buttons which are needed for our test case. Okay, now then I'll go into the test cases. I'll create one more folder here. Create folder, and I will name it as 29 December. And then I'll create a test case inside this. So this is a test case. This icon which you are seeing, that is a test case, and I'll just rename it as login test. Okay, and then here I can just create or mark its work state as in work, and then I can start working on it. Then I will just move this particular module into the test case, and then I need to perform a click action on the login button, right? So I'll just give the click action here, and then this test step will be renamed as something like click on login link from top menu. And I'll after one step is done, like I'll just check it by running it in the scratchbook. Okay, so as you can see, it has clicked on login link, and I'm just waiting for the status to be displayed, whether it is a pass or fail. So it is a pass, like the login link has been triggered, and we are in the login page now. Okay, now after coming into login page, I will have to make use of the second module that I have scanned, and I will drag and drop it onto the test case. And now I will just say enter username and password and click on login. Okay, so now I will enter something which is expected, like I have a test credential ID as December 4th 04 December.com, and then I will enter the password 04 December. And as you can see, as the data type is password for this particular text box, the password value has been masked. It is encrypted now. And after that, I will click on login button. Okay. And if I run this particular test step, I should be able to see that Tosca is entering the username and the password and then clicking on the login button. Let's see. So it has entered those details and the login button has been triggered. And now we can see that the login was successful. Okay, now then I will just log out from this again, and I know these two steps will work. Like we have taken an example of a simple workflow, which is login, and now we have scanned two modules and we have created two test steps inside this test case called login test. So now my two steps are completed, my sample scenario is automated, so I'll just keep the work state as completed. And then once our test case is set to completed work state, then it should be executed in the executions folder. Okay, now I'll just I'll just check out this particular folder, and then from our test cases, I'll drag this test case and drop onto this folder. Okay, so now again I will just rename it as a login test 29 December. And then from here, I'll just trigger this particular login test case. Okay, and we are on the home page. So this is the right page. This is the beginning of our test case. So I'll just run this from here. So it has clicked on the login link, and the password username have been entered and login button was triggered. Now the entire test flow was successful, and we can see a green status here saying that the test case was passed. And now after the test case execution is completed, in order to know the reports, we can just take out the report Like we can right click on the execution list entry, and then we can click on print report, where we will be suggested to have different formats. These are all the available formats in which we can have our report to be generated. Okay, now I'm just selecting PDF format, and after that I'll just click on start, and I will have to give a name for it. I'm just saving it on export downloads and export. Okay, then it is asking, do you want only the failed steps? No, I want all the steps, whether I want all the steps that have been passed also. So I'm been clicking OK. And then do you want screenshots? Yes, I want screenshots also. I'm just clicking on OK. And then it will be asking us which browser it should be, which app we need to use. So once I select the default app, you can see this is the report. This is the report for our test case that we have executed with so on so date and time. And then we can see execution summary, like the pass rate. As we had only one test case, it is passed. And then you can see the detailed time report, how the test case has been started and when it has been started, and what all the actions that we have performed using Tosca. So this is the report that we can generate, and it can be fetched in multiple formats like Excel, the text file, any other file is possible. So this is how we create a module, create a test case, and then execute it in the execution list, and then extract the reports. These all things are the sample, the thing are the workflows or the standards that are followed when we automate something in Tosca using the available options that we have. This is about the sample scenario, and this might give you a slight picture why we call Tosca as a module-based approach tool, because these modules are just used again and again wherever they are needed. We won't be using them for, we won't be creating any new modules for the same links. Only we will be using this module again and again in multiple places wherever it is required and suggested. Okay, so this is about the sample scenario, and then future scope. When we are talking about the scope or the current um, areas in which Tosca is equipped, almost out of top 10 industries in any sector, like if we talk about finance or banking, if we talk about pharmaceutical, or if we talk about telemarketing and telecommunication, out of all those industries, if there are top 10 companies, out of those top 10 companies, mostly 7 to 8 companies are using Tosca for different technologies. And it is that range where Tosca has been stretched completely. And usually with the minimum experience, usually the openings in Tosca, mostly in India, we can see 500 plus openings being available every month with an average salary of 7 lakhs per annum. And when I'm saying 7 lakhs, it is considered for on an average of 3 years of experience. But 3 years of experience on an average, people can expect 7 LPA, an average salary of 7 LPA in India. And then it supports all modern legacy applications involving Angular, APM, etc. I have explained this point in the beginning of our session itself. So yeah, the growth of Tosca is rigorous. When we go into the market, or when we explore some options in Tosca, we can see mostly the companies are looking for people who are having Tosca as their skill set when they are talking about the automation engineers. So this is how we have planned the course, and we going into the course into the detailed curriculum of the course. We can have AS1 and AS2 courses covered in our curriculum, like the course that we will be providing the beginner level. We will be covering both AS1 and AS2 certifications, and we will be solving some real-time scenarios, and at the end we will be dealing with a real-time project which will be done on the demo web shop itself.